Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is James Ramos from At the Quarter Pole, and I have my 2023 Breeders' Cup contenders and pretenders. And right, my contenders that I see are going to be Rock and Roll and also Proxy coming out of Jockey Gold Cup at Saratoga Park. Those are two definitely good horses that could run in a Breeders' Cup Classic and also get more than fair odds. Rock and Roll in that race was caught in a slow pace, going 22 and 48, eventually not making any headway, but he was in between horses in that race and seemed to never get going. He needed to be on the outside and have at least a hard pace to run at. I think if the trainer connection of Kenny McPeek puts Brian Hernandez on this horse, he's going to be a contender in the Breeders' Cup. Proxy also would be a contender in the race. He came in second, beaten a short nose, and he might be rounding it to form, ladies and gentlemen, and he should be able to benefit from an anticipated high pace in that race at the Breeders' Cup Classic. I'm about 3 or 4 horses that might go for the lead, and at least have a better setup than he did at the Jockey Cup Gold Cup. Now, also for my contenders for the Breeders' Cup is going to be the Breeders' Cup Distaff Mile. Who I saw 2 horses come out of the Pacific Classic will be Senor Buscador, and of course again Slow Down Andy. Senor Buscador was beaten 3 1/4 lengths in the Pacific Classic. Again, he ran into a slow pace, wasn't that much space to run at. He was swung out 5 wide around the clubhouse turn and was only beaten 3 1/4 lengths. This horse is more of a late few sprinter who would do better at from 6/8 to 1 mile and not much of the 1 1/4. Slow Down Annie, of course, gave a great effort again, coming in third against the likes of Go Rocket Ride and also Arabian Night. He came up a little short. Doesn't look like he wants to go 1 1/4. I've seen this horse try him at an added distance after a mile, from a 1 1/8 to 1 1/4. He looks like he's better suited for the mile. My pretenders would be the eventual first 2 horses in the Pacific Cup Classic. Go Rocket Ride just missed narrowly to Arabian Night. Arabian Night had an easy lead out there. Nobody pressed him at all in the race, and basically he just kind of cantered home and won by a small depleted head. And that's what tells you something about Arabian Night's potential about going a 1 1/4. I don't think he'll get the distance. I think he's going to be put a lot more pressure on him in the Breeders' Cup Classic at Santa Anita, and he'll fold like a cheap suit. Also on Go Rocket Ride, he came from the inside. Mike Smith had him in a good spot. He was about 3 lengths off the lead, coming in third. The Catburger seat again, like he did the last 2 races, and he missed by a nose. I'm looking at a further regression on these 2 horses. I just think that the first 2 that I mentioned, Rock and Roll, if he does run, and will have a great shot. Also Proxy. Always favor better 4-year-olds to better 3-year-olds at this time of year. There is no American Pharoah or Justify running in this year's Breeders' Cup Classic, giving high hopes that there's going to be a potential for a decent payout. I haven't got any more other news about the other Breeders' Cup contenders or the other Breeders' Cup races, but these are my 2023 Breeders' Cup contenders and pretenders. This is James Ramos from At the Quarter Pole. Have a good afternoon, folks.